That new Tribes trailer got me extra excited for Horizon Forbidden West that is launching next month, which is wild to think about. Just like the recent Machines trailer, we start with a new character looking over the land, this time an Utaru with similar tattoos that we see Aloy have in previous trailers too. So seems like they are coming from the Utaru after all. We start with the first settlement we will reach in the game, Chain Scrape from the Oseram, that now appear way more lifelike, especially in the tavern where we see them drink and dance on the table. We know Aloy will meet Petra here from one of the Zero Dawn side missions. We get to interact with the workbench here for the first time and learn about the new upgrade systems, and can also test our melee skills in the new melee pits, which we actually see in this bird eye view of the camp. For an early area, it already looks like a big step up from the other settlements in Zero Dawn. And then we see a brand new Karja castle, still under construction from the looks of it, but with tents outside that we also see near the Sun Ring in Sunfall, the outpost of the Shadow Karja. So it could totally be that this was first in the hands of the 13th Sun King Jiran, who during the Red Raids ordered Karja to go into the Forbidden West and kill and bring people from other tribes to sacrifice them. Then his son, Avad, who we of course meet in Zero Dawn, kills his father to stop the madness, and then he becomes the Sun King himself. We learn a bit about this in Zero Dawn from Balan at the Day Tower as we go to Meridian. He's there to make sure all the Karja show respect to the Nora after what Jiran has done. And well, seems like 6 months after the ending of Zero Dawn, when Forbidden West takes place, he has a new order to stand on this new Karja outpost to protect the Karja borders from threats in the Forbidden West. I mean, looking at the hairstyle, I totally think it's him, right? But yeah, overall awesome that we get to see more of the Karja in Horizon Forbidden West, likely at the start of the game before we go to the Forbidden West ourselves. Then we move into the Plainsong, the home of the Utaru, hit by the red blight that is harming their field. Utaru are known for their harvesting, so this will likely be one of the first things we have to solve when entering the Forbidden West. And in this Tribes trailer, they also casually drop a new machine, helping the Utaru plow the lands from the looks of it. We got a better look here with the massive horns, and actually if we go back and zoom in here, we see that it seems to be crawling a bit, which is totally interesting. And there actually seem to be two variants of these Pentaceratops type machines. One with the horns and the other one with a massive plate as the head that we see if we focus on this one. So just like in the first game, and also what we recently saw with the Claw Strider, where one has this chainsaw mouth, while the others we saw Aloy fight in the Game Awards trailer had these thrusters and were way more chaotic overall. Like, I also think that this machine that we see in the new trailer has two separate variants. But there are way more interesting things hidden in the trailer and new details that I want to discuss. Of course, if you like the video so far, then leaving a like on the video would really help me out. Subscribe for everything Horizon Forbidden West, and I also am doing a Digital Deluxe Edition giveaway, which you can enter via the link in the pinned comment. There are 3 regular types of Tenakt with names linked to their surroundings. The lowland Tenakt are in the forest swamp type areas from the looks of it. We got the desert Tenakt with their yellow and red colors. And they have the Scalding Spear outpost we've now seen many times, like recently in the PS4 screenshots and even in the reveal trailer already. And also in that reveal trailer we see the outpost of the Sky Tenakt, looking at the structure and the blue-purple color we see in the new trailer too. Tenakt are warriors, we see them training most of the times in their settlements. They actually banded together to kill the Karja during the Red Raids when they invaded their lands, and seems like they're working together once more because a new Tenakt clan has surfaced, Regala and her rebels. We heard that name before. We, for example, have the Regala Collector's Edition of the game. Turns out that she's a person, and weird theory, maybe she's like in the reveal art with Aloy and Talana right here. What we know for sure is that she's the leader of the enemies we saw in the summer gameplay reveal, and also in that bandit style camp gameplay where we see these hostile rebels. While we will likely work together with the other Tenakt, if I had to guess. In the Machines trailer, we saw these rebels burn down the lowland Tenakt villages. So now that they know how to override machines, machines. Thanks to Silence, I would not be surprised if they want to try and rule all the Tenakth. They also add extra elements to these machines after overriding them. Like, not sure if these bristlebacks will have these flaming mouths when we encounter them in the wild, but they at least seems to be mounts for Aloy, looking at how the rebels are using them. Also interesting, and a shout out to Random Sidequest for pointing this out in his video, totally a link to his channel in the video description. The camp from these Regala rebels seems similar to where we see Silence during the post-credit scene of Zero Dawn. So I think similar to what happened to the Shadow Karja that then turned into the Eclipse, I think he convinced some people from the Tenakth to help and defend him, and in return he teaches them to override machines. And speaking of machines, we saw them capture a Stalker, so they are 100% confirmed for the sequel. If you look very closely on the Golden Gate Bridge, we actually see a Stormbird there. Really great spot from Roaring Renegade in my Discord. And also very briefly, we see a Bellowback near the Lowland Tenakth. It's not a fire or freeze Bellowback. I think it's a new type, a plasma Bellowback. Game director Matthijs de Jonge namely told GameInformer that the Slitherfang is vulnerable to fire, ice and plasma based attacks. So it's ideal to use weapons sporting those attributes. But yeah, while we already had fire and ice in Zero Dawn, plasma is completely new. So makes sense that the Bellowback would then be back with this new element to change things up a bit. But your theories are of course more than welcome in the comments down below. And you maybe already saw the short new gameplay against this Slitherfang. While it was not shown during this combat sequence, we did learn that the machine will rattle shortly before firing a wave of electricity from its tail, and by shooting this tail off, we can actually use that weapon against the machine. Although it will not be as effective because the Slitherfang is strong against shock damage. As noted in my previous video, the attack pattern of the Slitherfang changes depending on the state of its health, and I by the way shared way more info in that video, which I will link to at the end of this one. Totally check it out if you haven't already. But since then we did learn some interesting new details, for example that by default the game starts on minimalist mode, where there's as little HUD information on the screen as possible. And it's also according to de Jonge to a GameInformer. But in this mode, you can also swipe up on the touchpad and that will immediately bring up all the important information, such as objectives or maybe your health or your inventory. So that totally seems new, but it also seems that the crossbar we of course see in Zero Dawn is indeed already there in the minimalist mode to select items. So it seems to be returning while we haven't seen it in action yet, and that Game Awards trailer also made it seem that they changed it to like a sort of gadget wheel. So with GameInformer now during one of their podcasts saying that they did see the sort of crossbar, I'm just curious how it all shakes out, but we will find out soon enough. Going back to the new Tribes trailer, because maybe the most interesting part is the tease at the end for another new tribe that we've never seen before. So yeah, we could speculate here, but nothing is really known about them yet. Maybe Silence is part of this tribe somehow, and we also still have that blood drinker Bryn, who will totally, I think, return in the Forbidden West, as he's like teasing that also during that side mission. Like, Silence and him could totally be ordinary Banuk, or maybe there's more going on. But again, your theories are more than welcome in the comments down below. Subscribe for everything Forbidden West. I will have way more videos as we get close to release, and of course on launch, a lot of tips and tricks and stuff like that. I really can't wait. A like on the video would really help me out. And again, check out the previous video with info on the skill tree and way more by clicking on the screen. For now though, I will speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.